What's up, D-Gens? It's Quayver. Today I got some quick tips for you about the game, things I wish I knew beforehand when I first started out, things to pay attention to, and you've probably seen a billion of the guides. MTash made a really good one, but I'm going to try to focus on more obscure things that perhaps not a lot of people talk about and covered, so without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. I'm going to make this as clean and precise as possible and as quick as possible so that the video doesn't drag on forever. If there's anything that I missed, please let me know down below. If there's anything that you feel like that should be covered in maybe the next one, or maybe doesn't get talked about, you know, let everyone know, because if you discovered it, someone else might have also been stuck on it, and it would be good for them to know. So without further ado, let's get straight into it with the first little tidbit. The first tip is that while you're exploring the open world, eventually and at random points you'll come across guys like this. The Peddlers, they have the pack on their back. When you see them out in the open on random trails, just talk to them. Most of the time when you talk to them, they'll be like, hey, can you kill this mob a few feet away from me? Or, hey, these guys are causing a ruckus disturbance. Or they'll just talk to you and then they'll disappear. And when they disappear, where you do like the small task for them, it takes like 2 seconds, you'll get like 2 astrite. It's kind of like this, similar to opening a chest. So if you're starting to run low on astrite because you've been doing a lot of summoning, or you're 100%ing your map, make sure to just talk to every peddler guy that you possibly see to see if maybe he'll have a reward for you. This guy right here, he's one of the NPCs that stays in town, so he's not going to give you one, but I'm talking about you'll see them walking along the road as you're exploring the open world to 100% it. I couldn't find one because I've done most of them already. I've talked to a bunch of these guys, but I promise that if you talk to them out in the open world, they'll give you like 10 astrite and some stuff, like similar to opening a chest. The next bit is about how to spend your premium currency. When you do get into this game, you're going to get a lot of currency for free. You're going to get a lot of astrite and stuff. What I would highly recommend you do is that you use the discounted banner. You get your free unit, and then you'll get a selection banner after 80 convenies of a unit that you want. You could also complete that one out if you want to. However, if you only want one of the 5-star units and maybe you're not searching for 2 of them, then I wouldn't necessarily say that it's necessary to go even on that beginner banner. I wanted 3 units because we also got the selector for free. But the main point of this is that as soon as you get the characters that you want, every single one of your free little orbs here should be spent on the weapon banner exclusively. Weapon banners are extremely important in this game. The amount of power that you get from your weapons is insanely big. Like if you go and just cheat, like look at the difference for Sanhua, she has a 374 sword, and this one's not nearly as, close. They're not close in level. However, it's going to differentiate between another 100, 200 power. And the reason why it's so important is because of how multipliers work with things like the damage deepens and whatnot, is that you're not just getting like 100 more attack means you do 100 more damage. 100 more attack means that your base stat is higher for the multiplier, so 100 more attack could really translate to 200, 250 more damage. So getting your 5-star weapons is going to be one of the most important things to give your characters a power boost. So get the character that you want with the selector, get another 5-star from the random beginner banner, and then if you really want a third, because there's one that you were sleeping on or one that you just weren't able to pick up, go into the 5-star selector banner that takes 80 convenes, get that, and then after that only spend your blue orbs on the weapon banner. Stop summoning on characters completely. I promise you will lose the 50-50 and you will eventually get the character that you want. So do not waste your summons in this way. And then when it comes to the gacha currency, just pull on the character and the weapon that you want. Even though this right here, it is a guarantee, and you see the 4-star weapons rate up, you really want to get as many 5-star weapons as you can over time, because when you're going into the end game mode, you need 3 teams, and while you can't swap around gear, maybe your team has 2 guns on it, so you need 2 guns. Maybe your team has 2 of the rectifiers on it, so you'll need 2 rectifiers. Basically, it's always good to have as many weapons as you can that are good. One more thing about weapons too, count this as another point, is that the weapon that you get from the battle pass, if you do get the paid battle pass, there's a couple of really good choices. Like, I'm really struggling to not do it because this gauntlet, even though it is only a purple instead of a gold, it has a crit rate on it, so it'd be amazing for jianxin, or even the augment here with the crit rate again would be really good for encore. And those are the 2 main units that I want to use. So weapons are extremely valued in this game. I'd say as much as PGR, if not even more, definitely more than light cones and weapons in Genshin Impact. So keep that in mind as you're going through, and spend your currency wisely, because it is limited even after, especially after you 100% the map. The next thing is echo farming. If you spend all of your time farming echoes to get all the way up into 18, 15, 20, you're going to probably burn out on the game really early, because you're just going around killing mobs, not getting the gold drops that you want, all this stuff. So my recommendation for this is that if you are already at 15, then just go and 100% complete the world. And as you're 100% completing the world, kill all the mobs around, because you're going to need to get a purple and then a gold of every single of the echoes anyways. So there's no real need to echo hunt up until you're trying to do end game, late game stuff. Like you see all the CCs and stuff, they're already having, you know, their finalized end game builds, and they've been grinding and posting their picks on their rolls, and it's been, you know, it's almost like baity in a way, right? But if you don't want to burn out on the game, if you want to just, you know, continue to have fun, if you're someone that's like a giga grinder, then obviously go crazy with it. But I'm talking more for like the casual audience that maybe has an hour a day to play, maybe an hour and a half, maybe even a half hour. If you come and you do your dailies, and then you have 25 to 55 minutes left of your daily gameplay, then that means if you spend the entire time farming echoes to try to get a good set, you do that for multiple days, you're thinking, man, I'm just grinding into this and it's going to suck, and then your map's going to be incomplete, and you're not going to have all the astrite that you need from opening all the chests and getting all the location viewpoints to be able to get the character you want, like Yinlin or her weapon. So I would strongly recommend that you go around, try to 100% the map, really explore, you know, feel for the world, continue to enjoy the world, be a part of it, and while you're doing that, kill every single mob that you see, get all the echoes, farm your echo level up naturally over time. Remember, this game is an open world gacha RPG. It is a marathon, not a sprint. CCs will sprint to the first mile of the marathon and then casually jog along the way there, and all you're seeing right now from every CC is the sprint portion. You do not need to sprint. Take your time, enjoy it, explore the world, don't burn yourself out on echo grinding, because as long as you play this game, there will be more echo grinding. I promise. The next tip I got is on these slimy little bastards here, is that anytime that you're fighting something like a red mist echo, which I did a whole video that you could check out if you want to go check it out, but as you are fighting these things, they do a absolute piss ton of damage, and with having more than one at a time, it is going to be absolutely rough to do this. So what is my advice for this? If you want to really grind out these ones here that are the multiple mob red mist echoes, unless you are exceptionally good, or you train, or you just, you know, want to give yourself the achievement or whatever, I would say that you should absolutely be trying to do this with 1 or 2 friends, because if you have multiple people on your friends list or in your world, you have more than one person, you're going to be able to split the aggro. Obviously that makes sense, you know, right? And it's hard to find friends, but if you go onto places like, you know, Reddit, you know, maybe the Discord of your favorite CC, you're going to be able to find people to play with, even if it's just every once in a while. So if you really want to grind out these red mist echoes, you know, get the data bank level up, because, you know, you need to eventually do a couple of these red mist echoes in order to get the achievement, in order to get up past data bank level 17 into 18, even though your SOL 4 level isn't quite there yet if you're not Union level 40, but it's still necessary to get there eventually. So I would strongly recommend that you only tag doing this with either, you know, like what I'm doing, the encore range cheese, where you just throw an attack and run forever, and it'll take you like 20 minutes, you'll be annoyed, or you get a friend and you guys struggle through it and it'll be a great time. So when it comes to these things, these challenge enemies, these are the very rare ones, and the fact that with the hologram, I don't think that you could hologram in multiplayer, in co-op, but these you can grind together in co-op and multiplayer, get the achievements together. It'll be a fun moment. So that's my recommendation for if you want to do red mist echoes. Get a buddy, get 2 buddies, go at it together, struggle together, have a good bonding session, have a good time. You guys will have a lot of fun with it. Next piece is on the stamina system. As we are rolling into 1.1, obviously later down the line, they've already mentioned that they're going to implement a stamina saving system like how Honkai Star Rail has. However, up until that point, you know, you got to be very stamina efficient here with it, because none of it's going to build up. But a lot of the CCs and all the other creators right now are saying things like save up all your cubes, farm effectively, grind effectively, but they're in sprint mindset right now, and you need to be in marathon mindset. So don't feel bad about going in and doing any of the domains that you want to do for any reason, for any material that you might need. The only thing I would avoid is the tacit field. Even though not getting enough Echo EXP does suck, you have a lot of other ways to get it through things like Tower of Adversity, chests, the gift shop, things like that. So I would not recommend too much to go into tacit fields. But you know, even for people saying like, oh, if you save all your cubes, you'll be able to go and get higher of these, you know, materials later, so you should save them. And then yeah, you absolutely can do that. You absolutely should do that if that's what you want to do. You want to be, you know, the 0.1% efficient with it. However, if you want to just play the game casually, you want to make your characters as strong as they are, you want to upgrade more than just one team of characters, like, don't be afraid to go in to any of these domains, spend your cubes, spend your the yellow solvent cubes, which are right here. Yeah, spend the crystal solvent cubes as well. We have like near 40. I've spent a couple of them, so we should have near 40 of them given to for free, because we just got that extra 20 buff like free stuff in the mail too right now. So really they're trying to push like, just play the game, spend every bit of the solvent on everything that you want. Don't get into the mindset of you have to save for end game, you have to save for this, you have to save for that, because how with gold echoes work, you could absolutely get super lucky and maybe you get a gold echo extremely early that you want to upgrade, and then you go into that. Or maybe you have like a second team that you want to put together because you have one team that's already maxed out, but you need the ascension materials for your weapon, for the character. Like, really just go crazy with spending your solvents if you want to just progress as far as you can now, because when you do get to, you know, end game, you know, months down the line, level 80, level 90, whatever the max level is, even then things are still going to be challenging. You're still going to have, you know, you're still going to get 240 like stamina a day to go and do anything that you might have missed out on. So do not worry too much about it, and just spend all that you want to make sure that you can play with every character that you want. There are multiple places on the map where you can buy things such as EXP for both your character, your weapon, your echo, and then also ascension materials. Just going over them quickly on the map. Synthesize is how you put them all together. This little hand weapon shop, the crafting shop, you could buy some of the green ascension materials from that. The gift shop you get from opening chests, going around the world and collecting. That's how you are able to get even more in there. That I believe there are some premium pulls in there, and there are some tuners in there as well. So this is where you spend the currency that you get from opening chests and boxes. This is the pharmacy. The pharmacy gives you flowers for upgrading your dudes, your chicks, for all your characters and whatnot. This is how you get characters. It's limited to 15. I'm not sure when it replenishes. It might be weekly, it might be monthly, but we're not too sure at this exact moment. But 15, I would assume probably every week. This right here, the Pioneer Association, is where you can turn in like percentage goals for clearing parts of the map, and then you get rewards from it. It gives you XP, it gives you a bunch of other good stuff. So make sure you're going in there, you're collecting, you're turning it in every once in a while and collecting the rewards. Same with the Relic Merchant. That's where you turn in those yellow cubes that you find on the map that I can't remember the name of at the exact moment. The Sonic caskets, it says it right, it says it like right there. But this is where you turn it in. I believe there's currently 10 levels to max it out, and like Rover's like last ascension you can get from there is at level 9, so you don't need to perfectly 100% clear the entire map of them to, you know, get your Rover fully upgraded. Another spot is here in the Thaw Mine, Tiger's Maw ore. If you turn in the blue crystal into Tiger's Maw ore, there's a 4-star weapon selection box, and then there's some other EXPs and stuff you can get from there. And then there is another pharmacy here. This pharmacy doesn't give flowers. This has things like live animals, like the fish, the meat, all that kind of good stuff is in there. And that's currently all of the shops that are around the map. There is another thing that I wanted to look at. Where is it? These little fancy icons. You see that they have astrite, they have shell credits, they have stuff. This one right here was blocked behind a barrier, and the barrier was taken down from a side quest, and you go in there and you complete it. There's some puzzles. There's also some ones that you see like where it goes like 2D side scroller, and then they start doing like the running and the jumping and stuff. Make sure you're doing all of these. It's free astrite. You know, it's easy to put it off until like later, but then you might forget about one. You can tell if you've done one or not based on if it's glowing like this. I believe that it is all first time rewards. I've done this one because it's already blue, and then there should be one that I have not done that is all in black somewhere around here, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just going crazy, but that's basically the gist of that. Make sure you're doing all of your extra little paths and tunnels and whatnot in order to get all of the rewards that are available across the map. Another thing too is that when you are exploring the map, you have exploration progresses, and while you might have all of the crates, all of the chests in an area, it won't be 100% because things like viewpoints also count for it. So if you are not at 100%, but you found all the boxes, used all your little treasure things, maybe it's time to consider Googling a viewpoint so that you get 100% an area, and then that'll also get you more stuff to spend here at the Pioneer Association so that you get more credits as well. A lot of people are familiar with the gadgets already. The loot mapper tells you what loot's in the area. Waypoint gives you a portable waypoint you can teleport to anytime. Casket sonar detects things like the casket sonars. It's which are the the resonance things that you can find around. But the main thing is the waypoint. If you put down a waypoint, then it will be there forever. It will consume a waypoint module. Waypoint modules do not respawn, and when you take away a waypoint, they will not come back to you. It is not a resource that ever comes back to you. In order to craft them, you have to go into the synthesis in the main area. On top of a lot of other things for constructing, you get the sonar circuits here, you have to build them, and then the waypoint modules are here as well. You also build them. Keep in mind that these crystals here, I believe, are also the ones that you turn in for the Ironmore Mall area, which is where you can get XP and stuff from. So if you want to make waypoints, but then you need to hunt more of those rocks to be able to get like the 4-star open selection box and all the other stuff from the Tiger's Mall ore area. This is also where you can just craft a bunch of stuff together. I'd recommend trying to, build a couple of these. The revive packs, you might end up needing one for like a hologram boss, something around there. And there is, of course, a way to craft weapon experience with rocks. I would not recommend ever crafting any weapon experience with rocks. Weapon experience is probably the experience that I have had the most of sitting around compared to everything else, which is the character and then the echo. Echo is definitely the priority, and then character, and then weapon after that. But maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys have another unique experience that is completely different from me. Who knows? The last bit I would suggest somewhat ties into a previous tip, which is spending what you want to get the currency that you want in order to do things with the material and the skills that you want, such as getting like these like metallic drips and whatnot. On your main team, I'd say the only person you need to really worry about maxing out fully is your main DPS that's going to do the majority of your damage. Everyone else you can upgrade slowly over time. You can even wait until you're like way more in the union levels if you want to be more stamina efficient. What I would highly recommend is that per team you upgrade one DPS absolutely fully and then completely work on another team after that. So for me, for example, I'm running Encore, Sanhua, and then jianxin, and then for the second team I'm going to be running Calcharo with Baiji, and then Yinlin's going to be in that third spot eventually, but for right now I think I'm running Taoki. And honestly, depending on how fun Yinlin is and if I want to make another video on her specifically, it might turn into a Yinlin hyper carry. Who knows? But that's basically what I would recommend here, because if you go crazy into trying to max out every single skill of every single character that you are currently using for 3 teams, then you're going to be running out of stamina and you're not going to have enough to keep up on their levels, their weapons, all that kind of good stuff. So you got to spread it out evenly. And a good balance that I've seen is max out one character, your main DPS, and then the other 2, just get them up a little bit and then level up your other units, your other team. Do the same thing up until you have 2 teams, because I don't think anyone's going to be going to Tower University where 3 teams quite yet. And then after that, you can finish maxing out the skills, hopefully before you hit the next union level. But even if you do, it's not a big deal, because now your stamina is more efficient into every domain that you go into. So it just continues to build on that. You gotta remember, like, everyone's thinking about how this game compares to Genshin, how they currently have like every single character maxed out because they've played the game for 3 years and things like that, even Honkai Star, all that good stuff. This is literally still, we're in the first week of the game, and no one should be concerned about maxing out. No one should be concerned about min-maxing, unless you're like a content creator trying to go crazy with the game. But if you're just like, casual Andy over here, you really don't need to worry too heavily about all this. These are just little tips and a little thing that I wanted to put together just to basically relay the message of you have time. This game is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You do not have to rush through a single point in this game, and it will be much more enjoyable for you, unless you're a giga grinder and you like grinding that. But on average, it'll be more enjoyable for you, the collective you, the population you, to take your time, slow it down, go through, enjoy the game, and it'll be a good time. One last thing I wanted to pick up on as well is this Depths of Illusion. Currently you're currently in every single level except for level 70. They give you a trial character. All of them have been pretty decent, but then once you get to level 70, you have to use your own character. My recommendation for this, if you have, Jian, go crazy. If you're going to be pulling for Yinlin, this will help you out once she eventually comes out. If you don't want either of them, or you get unlucky, Baiji with Inferno Rider is a really, really, really strong combo. After that, Taoki was also pretty good and pretty fun, but I think that overall that Baiji is who you want to use going into this game mode. She does an absolute shit ton of damage if you get her Inferno Rider, and then you try to level up the Inferno Rider as much as you can, because you're focusing on fire, which does a lot of basic attack hits, critical rate, critical damage, all that good stuff. So if you need one character to focus on for this game mode specifically, Baiji will not do you wrong, because who knows how long it'll take to put these characters in, because with all the updates they've been saying that they want to do, getting more characters into this game mode has not been something I've seen the devs put into any announcement posts, any dev posts, anything like that. So it might still take a while for this. So investing in your Baiji, which also, needs to be a secondary healer, is going to be pretty good. This is the last thing, I promise. This is Tower Adversity. This is your end game mode. This is what you're going to be going through. When you are going into the tower, you will notice that you will pick one team and you will do that one team all the way through it. And then when you go into the second half here, you are not going to be able to use any character that has 0 energy from your team 1. Completely fine. You're going to have to use team 2 people like this. Now, the only things that are locked is your character, character energy, I call it. So every weapon they use, every echo they use, none of that is locked. So if you clear floor 1 or if you clear the first half, the first third, whenever we get there, with these characters, and you want, like, oh no, I need an ice set. I don't have a secondary ice set for my second team. It's okay. Because you could do just this side, leave the tower, put those echoes onto the units you want to use, the weapons on the units you want to use, go back into the tower and clear that second half. It does not restrict you in any way. And clearing Tower Adversity as soon as possible means you get more rewards. So I'd recommend trying to tackle it early, but don't worry too much about like 12 starring everything, because it's going to be a little while for that. But that's another recommendation for that. Don't go too crazy with the echo grinding, because you can transfer echoes between for this end game stuff. And when you're exploring the world, you're only going to have one team anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. So that's going to bring us to the end of the video. The 6 or 7-ish tips for this. It's meant to be a quick video. Hopefully I'll be able to squeeze it down a little bit, or you guys will find it entertaining or informative in any way, shape, or form, right? But if you did like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Tell me I'm, based or, not based, however you want to figure it. And if you pulled jianxin and down below, despite everyone's worries about her, also let me know, because you are quite correct. Anyways, once more, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace, boys.